Welcome viewers, this is Winch here. It's time to talk about vehicles of Battlefield 4. This is a loadout I recommend on the M1 Abrams tank or any tank in Battlefield 4. But in particular I want to stress the importance of the coax HMG, the heavy machine gun. Uh, that's the piece of equipment I really want to emphasize in this video as your complementary loadout to the main turret weapon. Now, my choice, there's several variants of ammunitions that you can choose from in the tank. My personal favorite is the Sabot round. It's a high speed, high damage anti-tank, armor piercing, basically anti-tank round. I find that weapon, in conjunction utilizing the zoom optics, in conjunction with using the coax machine gun, and as you saw in my loadouts there is using the reactive armor and the active protection system. That loadout is pretty much what I find makes me a very formidable opponent against any kind of armor or infantry in the game. Now, everybody likes their loadout. I encourage you to tailor that. Some of you may like other variants, but I'm just going to show you gameplay here of me going on a massive long kill streak on this Silk Road map. Very heavy vehicle and infantry, very open map in a lot of ways too. But I'm going to go on a pretty big spree on this, and I want to break down moments in terms of my engagements, how to utilize the tank effectively, because if any of you have been familiar with my content, my channel, I was not a big vehicle person in Battlefield 3. I was alright, but for the most part I just kind of stayed away from them, and I really preferred infantry combat. But I'm finding in Battlefield 4 more often that I am using this tank, and I'm finding myself being much more effective using a tank as opposed to most other people I see on the battlefield making everyday I mean, not that they're bad players out there, but the randoms out there I observe make a lot of mistakes. Now here you can see the effectiveness of the heavy machine gun. Now this is different than the first coax machine gun. They're two different animals. There's one that shoots very high fire rate, does lower damage, as opposed to this one which does much higher damage and a lower fire rate. But with this coax machine gun, the heavy machine gun, and I'm sorry I interchanged those two words, even though they're two completely separate pieces of equipment. But the heavy machine gun here is very effective against infantry and air vehicles. I have shot down choppers, scout helicopters, attack helicopters just with this machine gun alone. So you'll see me in this footage a lot of times changing my targets to include helicopters as well. But you can see these infantry at this range just have no clue what's hitting them, and by the time they realize it only takes a couple shots from this thing. I mean, it's like a big sniper can. It's a 50 caliber machine gun. It actually does damage like it should. It's nothing like the gunner's machine gun up there, which I guess technically they're the same, but trust me, the one up above in the gunner's seat is not really a true 50 caliber machine gun like this thing is. But here you can see every one of these shots on that helicopter is doing about 5 damage. So I mean, 15, 16, 24 damage. I mean, just hitting this thing, there's 35 damage. I mean, if you get lots of rounds on this thing, I mean, it doesn't take all that much before those things are disabled. They're bailing out like that, and they just won't have anything of it. So I can just show you countless clips of me just using just this piece of equipment alone for the tank turret. I mean, I rely on that for more kills in the main tank turret than anything. Now, obviously, with the Sabot shell, I'll caution you, is not an anti-infantry round, so don't really try to hit infantry unless you're hitting them directly. But right here, you can see where I positioned myself on the map. There was on the overlook position. Elevation's key to your tactical survival in this game, and I know when to pull back. This tank probably was one of those raged infantry out there who's getting sniped by me, and so he capitalized on my lack of situational awareness. I was getting tunnel vision, and that's a common problem people do in this game in vehicles is they get that tunnel vision, they get fixated on something. So I allowed him to sneak up on me, but you see that I evaded that situation. I got away from him. I solicited the help of my team. I took cover, did a quick little repair there, a little patchwork to address this LAV, which for some reason is just surviving all these Sabot shells. Obviously his reactive armor's there. I've got my active protection on right now too. Now right here I'm down to 4% health. I just succeeded in just by the skin of my teeth taking this guy out. It's time to watch that mini-map and see there's yet another infantryman coming after me, another engineer, and all it takes is one RPG for him to take me out. So you got to know when to bail out, when the time is appropriate. You don't have to go down with this ship every time. with your vehicles. There is appropriate time. Just bear in mind wherever your turret is pointed is basically where you're going to bail out at. So you don't want to be having your turret facing the infantry then bail out because you're pretty much a sitting target. So there's lots going on. There's lots of reading between the lines, and the big differences between the average player and the more advanced player are little subtle things like that. You got to know when to pull back, when to reassess, where to position yourself. You have to be cautious. You just can't be going full steam into position delta here where there's tons of infantry. You're going to get overwhelmed. Tanks are about range engagements. They're about basically zoom optics. I mean, if you're not using zoomed optics, I will argue with you every time that you have the wrong loadout. Tanks are designed for these types of engagements. Range engagements, taking out the armor. Once I eliminate the armor, then I'll reassess back to infantry. Now I have to bear in mind too here that I'm not at the highest point on this map, but this position on Silk Road is absolutely the most strategic, valuable position. And there's other ones too, but this one really overlooks everything, and I can pretty much see all the armor coming across the map. But I have to be careful because position golf is right next to their spawn, so more often than not they control that objective. So I have to be conscientious of my rear armor and the spawning over there of that. But once I'm confident the armor is eliminated and you can see me take out that LAV, then I'm going to push back up here again and start focusing on all these infantry. And then anytime, see that little white arc there, that's when somebody's locking onto you. You got to pay attention to that because that gives you an idea who's locking onto you. I saw behind me that was about my I guess 8 o'clock position from where my turret was. It was infantry, so I assumed based on that those ridges that was infantry, and sure enough it was. So I recessed with them, and this is a position you don't want to be in with this heavy machine gun. It's basically a two-shot kill, and again, lots of infantry. You can see them starting to really come after me, and you'll notice that progress when you start doing things the way you should be. But just don't think you're going to take out tons of infantry. Infantry are just as dangerous to you as anything on this map. I mean, tanks are not invulnerable. I mean, helicopters, a good scout helicopter guy can make your life miserable. There's not much you can do against a good scout helicopter guy gets close in. If you get overwhelmed with infantry here, that's another big fatal mistake on this. I'm not sure why that guy would just stand out there. I mean, if you're infantry, more times than not, the biggest threat you have with infantry is them getting an elevation advantage on you, getting on a rock or something like that. I mean, with those MBT laws, they can just spam those things just relentlessly quick. They do 20 damage a shot. So 4 or 5 of those things, and the mobility advantage infantry have at close proximity, you're just nothing you can do. Now here I got kind of a random guy trying to help me out here, and he was kind enough. This is something you guys, an unwritten etiquette on the battlefield is if a guy is driving the tank, don't go over if you're his gunner and steal the tank once he bails out to repair if you don't have a repair torch. So this guy was kind enough to allow me to continue this streak as he realized I was doing pretty good in it, and I appreciate whatever help you can get. You know, gunner seats, I'm going to show you here in a moment, that's a vital position in the tank because you don't have eyes all around you, and you need to have that extra pair of eyes to help you be a defensive role in the tank whenever there's lots of infantry around. Because again, the moment you get close to infantry, we see it day in and day out, whether it's recon or support. C4 takes you out all the time. Engineers, repair torches, mines, that now the mines can stick to you. And even, again, those MBT laws, if a guy's even within relatively close proximity to you, that's all it takes. Again, here you can see again at my rear position, I'm still getting locked on. I'm realizing here I'm starting to be in a more vulnerable place. I'm not liking this position really. I really don't like the highest level. I kind of like the mid-range level of this map. So I realize up here, not a good place to be. But you notice my camouflage, by the way. It's desert camo. I try to blend in with my surroundings as much as I can. Obviously, it doesn't make you invisible, but it does help a little bit with reducing your visual signature. Here I had a tank finally coming up on me. He just about pulled it off too, but he basically made the mistake of getting too close. I don't know what his loadout was. Again, what I find out is if guys, and you can see me there in the last moments of that too, repositioning my reactive armor to the right to allow, once he basically exhausted my front armor, rotating the rear portion of my tank so the reactive armor would save me there. Again, little details like that and not charging in there are the two biggest mistakes I see day in and day out with people just not capitalizing on vehicles. more often than not, on these kind of maps, the team that utilizes armor and vehicles to their advantage wins the match, hands down. So you got to know these little details. Again, the most vulnerable position that you can shoot a tank is in the rear armor, right where the top turret meets the rear. And right there, basically, is going to be a one-shot mobility kill. 2 shots going to be done, instant kill. So obviously, that tactical scenario, anytime you can position yourself to get in the rear of the tank, take advantage of that. Again, I'm being a nuisance. I hate scout helicopters. I'll have to put up a video here about me. Just an incredible kill streak like I was here. I think I got 30 kills or plus on this match one time just in the scout helicopter. I mean, those things are game changers. So anytime I can, I'll throw bullets down range to get those scout helicopters to keep moving. Here my team was soliciting my help on position delta, saying they had both an LAV and an armored tank. Then another armored tank coming over here again. So this is where I get tunnel vision here, and shortly I'll meet my demise because there's just so much going on. And you can see this guy trying to return fire, but again, with my range advantage, I've got him zoomed in. Chances are he's just not going to pull it off. Clean up one more infantry there again. If you're out there in the open, you just got no chance. Look at this range shot, again, across the map. There's a hit. Every one of these hits is doing about 20 damage, so even on the move, zoom optics, once you get the hang of the drop of the shell, the Sabot shell has very little drop, so you can really hone in on that. Look at this guy, that infantry right there. Did I get enough to hit him? No, I don't. I'm sorry. This is where I get distracted, and the guy put C4 on my tank. I noticed it by watching the minimap just at the last moment. Bailed out. Ran out of ammo. Kind of an epic exchange here with the recon guy, and headshot with the compact 45 equals teabag for the win. I'm sorry. That one I thought I earned on that, because I got out of that by the skin of my teeth again, and somehow cheated death. So continuing this kill streak. Running back over here, trying to get another tank. And just by coincidence, I find the guy that was my gunner before, so I figured I would return the favor to him. So last few moments here, I want to capitalize just on when you're in the gunner seat or you're an engineer supporting the tank. Anytime you can, when you're toe-to-toe against a tank, you got to assume it's pretty much going to be an equal exchange. So you got to get back here, do whatever little repair you can to help your teammate out. I mean, that's absolutely vital to your success. Right here again, the luck discontinues. A guy spawns on a guy. There's still a slight bit of spawn protection. Gotta watch that out. Clean up them to Ace 21. This incredible carbine weapon I'm finding. I'm really doing good with this weapon. Even more in the SG553. So I'm finding the Ace 21 to be my close quarters carbine of choice for the moment. Lots of just good. I think all the carbines you can argue are pretty good in this game. But in the gunner seat, there's several loadouts in the gunner. I still prefer zoom optics, and I've got the autoloader, but I feel like this position is still too weak. I really feel like this machine gun should be doing the same damage as that coax heavy machine gun, and it obviously doesn't. I just feel like bullets still just bounce off infantry with this thing, but nonetheless, you're still in here. Your primary objective is to watch the rear and the sides of the tank, which you can see me doing here. Obviously, this tank driver, I'm not being critical of his skill, but I don't think he's the best. This is not where I would like to position myself in a tank, is there's just too many corridors, and he's really relying on me as a gunner to spot out anything and eliminate it. And again, at these ranges, even this gunner, this machine gun just does not drop infantry quick enough before a lot of times they'll run up, get right underneath your angle of attack, put up some kind of C4 and take both you guys out. So there's just not much you can do. Again, right here, one thing I want to touch on is whenever infantry are shooting at you and you're getting bullets on them, more often than not they stay in that position. So keep your reticle on that, and this is where I've made the mistake. I always try to second guess myself and think, okay, he's going to go around because he knows I got beat on, but more often than not, your average player's pretty predictable, in my opinion. So keep your reticle. More times than not, if you're in a guessing game like that, they're going to repeat the same quarter, so just keep your reticle on there. Keep the suppressor fire going, and as a gunner, you're doing whatever you can just to throw off their aim a little bit, and obviously, the optimum case scenario is to take out the infantry. Yeah, look how many hit markers this thing I got. I mean, I at least got 2 on there. It just seems like the power of this is just very weak. I have seen that the secondary gunner position where he has like the what is it? It's like the flare type attack or the fire attack. I just haven't used that with much success. But right here in conclusion, watch out for guys. You'll see this a lot. The whole C4 bike thing. Obviously there we worked, I don't know what happened, we got lucky there, but obviously got overwhelmed there at the end. But I hope you guys like this video. Please like and subscribe. Try to keep some of those tactics in mind for those of you that may be new to Battlefield. The tank is, and LAV kind of goes hand in hand. Ground vehicles are essential to your success on the battlefield. Thanks for watching. I'll have more Battlefield 4 content to come.